Good morning, baby.
Good morning. Hey, baby. How are you? I
Okay.
was just thinking about you yesterday, and you know how well I write.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't think most people write anymore.
Oh, but I'm glad to hear from you. I did get your sweet card though,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I like it was just. It still just does me so much good to
mm.
think about that weekend.
Oh, yeah, it was
It was
wonderful.
it was just wonderful. It's like we'd waited for something
Mm.
and it finally came true.
Yeah,
But how are you doing?
I'm okay.
We're good.
Um, Mommy had, um, she sent a few things that Letty had brought to her to send me. I just wondered why Letty couldn't send them. Maybe she didn't have my address.
She don't. She can't do anything on her own.
Huh.
Uh, Issy told me about her bringing those, and I said, well, why next time? Why didn't she do it? You
Mm.
know what she's doing? What I started doing here,
Yeah, cleaning out.
and it started Letty, but Letty don't. She's not gonna do anything like that. Poor thing.
Mm. But anyway, Mommy had mentioned that Randy had been in the
He
hospital.
did. He sure was, honey. But he's out and doing better, and he went into something that we would have never expected. I said, I guess you get more knowledgeable. I hope it was a passing thing.
Mm.
But he almost slipped into a coma.
Mm.
His not anemia, ammonia level
Yeah,
was so high till it shooting toxic poison to the brain.
yeah.
His platelets were so low till he could hardly stand.
Mm.
Let me think. There wasn't nothing that wasn't out of whack.
Yeah.
His bile ducts were closed.
Mm.
Um, the boy, bad blood infection,
Yeah.
edema, feet and legs,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't think there was any swelling there, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
We thought it was. I think it's fat,
No,
and we
it's not. It's
no
it's
no, and he
fluid and
that's it. They went to get it off his stomach, took him to get, and there was none there. It
mm.
was all over his body.
Yeah.
So, but thank God Charlie is better,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, and he just liked him. He's staying with Prissy. Did he
Yeah.
tell you that?
Yeah.
Well, I said if God ever sent me anybody,
Mm.
even after I told her I didn't approve of them moving in together,
Yeah.
that girl won't leave him.
Mm.
And the best nurse, just takes care of him, just stands and pats his head. So,
Mm.
Charlotte, what would I do without her?
I don't know.
Sometimes you, I don't know. But anyway, I thank God for her. And if she hadn't seen him, I don't believe he'd have made it through the night. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? If we hadn't caught it,
Yeah. Yeah.
he said, "Mama, there's something wrong with me."
Mm.
And I heard him say, "No, you're not." See, I felt uneasy all evening and called,
Yeah.
and he answered the phone,
Mm.
grabbed it like his. And I told him that I had talked with that lady about his SSI, and he said, "Okay, okay." And I said, "Take this note. Are you ready?" Yes. And she said, "Randy," I heard her say, "Randy, I'm taking you to the doctor." She
Mm.
just walked in
Yeah.
from work. "No, you're not." She told me that he was sitting there just calling them numbers back with no pencil, paper, or nothing.
Yeah. Mm.
So anyway, I appreciate what she did. She moved fantastically fast.
Well.
Anyway, I think if it's not for us to have a learning process about him better taking care of himself, protein level, if you eat too much meat, it does that.
It, oh.
Did you know
Well.
that?
No, 'cause I hardly eat any. Um. I don't hardly eat any red meat anymore.
Well,
I eat
that can do it.
chicken and.
And her daddy was in the hospital, had a stroke, and they had been out to eat 2 nights, Charlotte. And I won't say this, but I think one night he ate a steak, and the next night a lot of seafood.
Yeah.
But anyway, his protein in Islam, the doctor told him the night they got to the emergency room, he didn't know anything about Randy, but he said sometimes with your liver condition, much protein will do this.
Yeah.
Well, Islam reiterated the very same thing.
Yeah.
That's what he'd been eating.
Mm.
And so, but he'll be careful from now on.
Yeah.
And
Well.
Chrissy said they'd tell him over and over, you can eat things, but not a lot of red meat.
Yeah.
But you don't eat a lot of it, and don't eat often. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Space it out.
Yeah.
And they told him he didn't have to go on a strict diet, just a little less of everything.
Yeah.
Poor boy. He eats just like he drank. It's as hard as he can get into his mouth, you know.
Yeah.
We all got that problem.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving myself out either, or I'd lose weight.
Oh, God.
Anyway, he scared us to death and wound up with a thrush.
Mm. In the mouth?
Yeah. And he never had heard of it. And Chrissy said she laughed and told him what it was, and he didn't believe her, and it made her call me. I said, well, sure, I know about it. We used to call it thrash. And anyway, Charlotte, he's living on antibiotics, and don't you mind, that helps to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Like a yeast infection, and he lay there for 3 or 4 days. I don't even think he could rinse out his mouth.
No.
I just knew he was flat of his back with drip. But anyway, he calls it the hoof and mouth disease.
Right. When I was on 2 rounds of antibiotics back to back, my tongue got so tender. I mean, it hurt, and I couldn't.
You were just about to break out.
Yeah. And it hadn't got it. I don't think it's ever gotten completely well. It's still sensitive, but not to the point it was then. And
I never had heard of that. You know, we always thought thrash came from filth, and that wasn't always the case.
No.
I thought about little babies with it, and they just lay in suck bottles. A lot of them weren't even offered water.
Yeah.
Or they just nursed. Well, there was never any way to rinse their mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And mold just would start. It looked like mold.
But my tongue had it looked white up at the back of it and red on the tip.
Chrissy said back in his throat looked like mold.
Yeah.
Well, he called me last night. They had been to that little Grace Community Church whole service on Saturday evening, too. They had been to church.
Yeah.
They liked that small church service.
Yeah.
And on Saturday evening, he said he liked that.
Yeah. Well, good.
But he told me he was feeling much better. Chrissy said at one point he just broke down and cried.
Well.
He said, well, I guess he feels like the uselessness of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But we can't think like that, Charlotte. We got to keep moving on.
Well, I wanted to know what had happened. She didn't say. Elaborate, so.
No, well, she wouldn't, but she was so shook up. I'm telling you, she said she hadn't got over it yet. Poor Leslie. She's good. And she loves us.
Yeah.
She loves her family. Stirs up a lot of trouble, but everybody's got their own thing, you know, that they enjoy.
Yeah.
But Savannah called me yesterday evening. What's the matter with Letty?
Oh, Lord.
She changed her phone number. Don't give it to anybody. Poor thing. But I can tell you exactly. She started with, when she found out I was doing pictures and stuff, she started up, but she wouldn't know how to write you a letter and send you that.
Yeah.
Effie told me, said she brought me stuff to send to Charlotte, said some things Charlotte wrote when Rusty died. Well, I did get some good covered that night. I just point blank asked Cyrus, you know, about Rusty, about would they like to have this thing.
Yeah.
So I covered some territory, and then I talked to Pat on the phone, and she said yes, she would.
Well, I've got some stuff here. I need to send them then.
She said it don't bother her if it does me, that I can't look. said, yes, I'd like to have them. I told her, I said, when you get older, Pat, that most, I said, we cannot let their memory, Hiram Jr. and Rusty, die with us. We want them implanted in the younger bunch. You know,
Yeah.
That's all we leave, Charlotte.
Right.
And I tell you, I wish that you could hear a song Randy went home and wrote after that night here. If nothing else,
Well, I
when
do.
you talk to Michael, he hadn't done it when I wrote Michael. When you talk to him, tell him that Randy wrote what I think is the prettiest song, Making Memories.
Yeah. Well, can he put it on a tape?
I've got it on a tape, and I'll make him and Grandma singing. I'll ask, can I, if he will, can I have him send them to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
If he didn't get that night tagged, Making Memories, uh, the family all when we all get together for a family reunion, it's the sweetest thing. If nobody else appreciates it, I will. He said, "Now remember this: I cannot sing. I cannot not singing no, not trying to sell no voice."
Yeah. Well, I can make my little old thing here can make
Oh,
a copy.
they do it over there. That's what she just stands and she's his personal secretary and she's everything I'm not.
Well, I think it's wonderful that.
I think if I think she said I got the sweetest card from Mommy, but she said she has a place in my heart for as long as I live.
Yeah.
I mean that girl moved, and then wouldn't go into work for a week.
Mm. What does she do?
Stay with him.
I mean, what does she? What?
Oh, she works for a lawyer.
Okay.
She's not a paralegal or nothing. She just runs a small law office.
Yeah. Well.
Her brother, it's a very small family. Her daddy and mother live at Mansfield. Her folks came from down in Sabine, Virginia. And her dad, diabetic, and lost a leg. And she said he was so happy the day he got his prosthesis, had the stroke. And he was up here in Willis Knight in Piermont. You see, when she was, and she'd been staying at the hospital till 7. And that night, she come straight from work because it was 5:20 or 5:30 when I had him on the phone. And she said Ryan felt responsible because he met her and said, "Mama, Randy's asleep in his room, and with the door open, and I don't know what to do." Well, she found blood in the hall.
Mm.
So it was just an act of God.
Yeah.
And he is acting, Charlotte. He is moving all the time.
Oh yeah.
In our lives, we don't know what danger he's saving us from.
Nope. But
I haven't heard from Eva Carolyn. She called me the Tuesday after y'all were here.
yeah.
Telling me what a wonderful time. And I haven't heard any more. How are they?
Well, they're in D.C. Hank is getting.
That's right, for the wedding.
Today is at 5. They're getting married, and then.
You didn't go?
No. No.
I was thinking it was the 18th of September, but I knew it was September.
Yeah. They drove from Searcy, and she said they were going to leave, try to get away early Monday morning, which would be tomorrow, and didn't know if they would make it this far. If they did, they would spend the night here, but it's 1,000 miles one way.
Yeah.
And after
I don't believe it would be good for them to try it. They'd be speechless.
after they get here, they would have 300 more miles, so that means they'd have to drive 700 to get here. I don't believe.
It's 1,000 from Cersei. Yeah.
To D.C.
Yeah. I didn't know it was that far.
Yeah. So, I think they were planning. They stopped going there. They stopped somewhere out of Tennessee. They made it out of Tennessee.
Well,
Uh,
it must have been Missouri. Or maybe not.
no, well,
Virginia?
Virginia. See, Missouri's
Uh-huh.
anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, Virginia would be where they... But,
So I don't think they're gonna make it here for Monday night. Um, they'll probably have to spend the night after about 500
about
miles.
halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm off Tuesday also, and then I go back to work
You know,
Wednesday.
you know what? I didn't plan a thing for this.
Uh,
We had our holiday.
oh yes.
I didn't. I said the children, maybe grandchildren, probably gonna be disappointed because we always celebrate holidays. But me and Jean didn't plan a thing,
No.
not a thing. And that shock of Randy
Yeah.
has left me withered or wilted.
Yeah.
I do good. Prissy said. I told her. I said I go into when something happens. I go into cruise,
Yeah.
and I just make it. And she said, me too. And then I crash.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
said, let's see what she said. She said last night. That would have been Friday night. See, she had to work all week, and said he hadn't done a thing since she left.
Huh.
And so she said I came in and I went to sleep at 5. And I said, you didn't sleep all night? And she said, yes, ma'am. Well, that's just being so exhausted.
Yeah. It is. Um. Well, I'm glad he's better.
Now that's the detail.
Yeah.
And he had been to church yesterday evening, and he said I'm feeling better. And Christy said he kept them laughing. And said he'd say, all right, if you two want to stand and laugh at me, you're going to have to answer to God. And, you know, her and Ryan.
Yeah. How old is Ryan?
14.
Yeah.
And it was premature, and he's small for his age. And I saw about that boy in Arkansas. Where was that went home and killed himself? He was so excited about getting to go to high school. Beautiful boy. It made me so mad Thursday night. Said they had harassed that boy. Some of the students told it, and they wanted to know why they didn't tell. For 4 days they tortured him. And he went home and put an email to his friend and killed him. And straight A student. And his daddy said he had looked so forward to going to Charlotte. What makes people so cruel?
I don't know. The children.
Well, you know what I said. Their parents were needed to bear about as much blame as.
Yeah.
Because you know, Mama, that's one thing Mama and Daddy made it. We could never make fun of anybody.
Yeah.
If they looked like the Elephant Man, we were not supposed to say anything.
Yeah.
They taught us that from 3 years on. Don't you ever make fun of anybody.
Yeah.
And so I blame the parents with a lot of it.
But kids will gang up. I always say people act like, if you ever watched the Wild Kingdom, how animals.
Wild Kingdom and what was it? That lynching. That good show that people just got to talking and went and killed that man.
But when it's more than one, they'll gang up on.
And the students.
A weak one.
The students that observed it told on how everything that they had done to him. After it was too late.
Yeah.
Locked him in his locker and made him call himself all kind of ugly names.
Oh God.
And tortured him for 4 days. He tried, but they wouldn't come forward because of being in the crowd. Peer pressure.
Yeah.
And two, I said, where's the teachers? Where is the personnel? And Randy said they're probably scared of them.
Yeah. That's true.
So we're living in a mad, mad world, I tell you.
I know it.
The devil's got it in full sway.
Well, is somebody going to send me a copy of that tape?
Oh, I'll do it. I'll tell Prissy you got to have it. Now, he's got 4 down. He's working on one now. He said, and he sang it to me the other night on Grandma. You left your home in Ireland, hoping for a better life, lost your mother and dad. Anyway, it's a beautiful thing. He hadn't finished that, but I've got the words and those. I've got 4 songs on 2 tapes. In other words, the first 2.
Yeah.
And the second 2.
Yeah.
And I'll ask her to just put them all on one tape.
Yeah.
So I'm sending to you. Yeah, he was so happy and writing and her recording and
Yeah. Well, I told Mark about the song, and he said, well, he wanted to. I told him yesterday, and he said, well, he wanted to hear it
he
too. So
said,
I'll send him a copy.
yeah, I watched the faces. The song says I looked around at the faces, and now the old folks have gone, and the younger ones that I used to play with have children now, and then it went on. But then when I leave here, I'll leave with a smile from ear to ear, because I know that we've made memories that will always be down here.
Yeah.
And that's prompted me to just. That's what I said. We must keep Herm Jr. and Rusty as alive as they ever were.
Yeah.
It's up to us. Mama kept Earl Wayne, and now I have his picture. I found the picture with one corner tore off. I matted it and put it in my living room.
Mm.
But anyway, those people lived, and they deserve to live on.
Right. Well, I don't think I've ever seen a picture of Earl Wayne.
No, but you must. You must come. I found one didn't know I had. There's one in my hall, and Alan said that's the most stricken little face. Of course, it's a color, black and white, and it's enlarged, and I believe the sun was shining in his face.
Yeah.
And he was squinting. But he was a beautiful, healthy child. Just snapped out with pneumonia.
How old was he?
14 months. And I figured back, Charlotte, he would have been born in 25. Don't know what month. Maybe I'll run up on that.
Yeah.
But if he was 14 months when he died in October of 26. And that like to kill Mom and Daddy, but they couldn't leave down there because Grandma was living with them.
Yeah.
They had taken. Excuse me.
Oh.
Excuse me. Yeah, I get up with my nose dripping and sneezing. I think it's allergies and it passes off. But Uncle Lemuel, had taken Grandma off somewhere and had her sign a paper, then put her out at Daddy's. She'd signed her store and everything over to him.
Mm.
And Daddy told her, Anna, you've got a place at this fireside as long as I live. And if she went to pouting, he'd say, Anna, you got snuff? They couldn't leave because in 27 in October she died. And then they headed up here. Obviously they knew Mr. Morrison before then. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Huh. So what did he ask her if she had snuff?
That was why she's pouting.
Oh.
She dipped snuff. And he would, he'd say, Anna, you need snuff? Yeah.
Hmm.
I think he was very, very, very good to her.
Yeah.
He loved her. That's one thing about our family. Charlotte, we do love. And it came, Mom and Daddy did. But no, even after they took all her money, Daddy told her she was welcome there. And he had less than anybody.
Well, Anna was who? Grandma's mother?
The one that comes from Ireland.
Yeah.
And what a life. She wouldn't let them dock at Ellis Island. I didn't know this till the ship was too diseased. And they had to go around to New Orleans, and they put her in that, it used to be called Ursuline convent, Catholic, because they were all Catholic from Ireland,
Hmm.
She was 12 when she got there, and she was let out into homes to work and mistreated so. And at 17, she ran away. So she was spunky. Place in a stream that she didn't know how to cross. and Grandpa come riding by on his horse. Must have been a very young man, and asked her where she was going. I guess she told him, and he put her up on his horse, and he said, "Well, I'll take you to stay with some friends of mine." And he did, and she did. He took her to a home, and then they married.
Who are you talking about?
Anna.
Okay.
I'm talking about Anna. You know, from the convent, she ran away,
Okay.
and Grandpa found her. And he took her to,
Oh.
he said, "I'll take you to some friends of mine." And he did. He took her and to a family, and then later married her.
Oh, who was Lemuel, her brother?
Lemuel was, Lemuel was a name that come down. That's most confusing. Lemuel came down all the way from grandfather Willie. He had he was an only child, but he named his first child Lemuel. I don't know why that name. And then every generation after that had a Lemuel, and Grandpa named one of his boys Lemuel, and that's the one that was Crawford Willis. Do you remember Crawford and Tyrrell
No.
when they moved up here and moved over on Heart Island? And you were too little. And
Yeah.
two of the sisters, Bertie and I can't think of the other one's name, would come up here and visit, but uh, that's the one that they told Grandma that Uncle Lemuel and Aunt Ida told her that they were taking her somewhere to get her business straight. When they got through, of course, they put her out at Mama's with a piece of material for a dress.
Mm.
So that's how life goes. And then she had Anna had to sit and hold Uncle Osborne while he slowly bled to death after he was shot. That was her boy, Mama's brother. It's a detailed thing, but it's a beautiful family history.
Well, is that the one that Glenn Wayne has done?
Yeah, yeah. And Charlotte, he and I too have a lot of stuff on that in Mama's own. A lot of it in Mama's own writing. And Glenn Wayne don't have access to what I have, but he has managed. I've not never let on, and he's managed to uncover exactly what she told me.
Mm.
And I know when he's found the truth, I think, that's what you said.
Yeah. Well, uh, we would like to.
Oh, be
I,
in on that. I'm telling you.
Mark said he wanted to see all that, and I gave him Glenn Wayne's email.
That's great.
And so
That's
if
great.
Mark could get a copy, then
I think Glenn Wayne's been to Ireland once or twice, and he's also dabbling in Laird at Scotland. That's where Daddy's folks come from.
yeah.
All of us are immigrants. You know that?
Mm.
That's in that new song Randy wrote. She came hoping for a better life.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm
poor thing. But I said they were. If you look back, they were heroes.
yeah. Well, we're
Glenn
anxious
told me the
to.
other day that he remembered Stanley. She would jump. He said that he must have been nearly 5, and she was 84. And he said she'd jump off. Teen said that night she was small. Never did weigh about 100 pounds and was less than 5 feet. And Glenn said she would jump off the porch with him. And he said, I remember standing by her chair and her saying, "Son, don't never gamble."
Hmm.
He said, I remember it just like it was yesterday.
And that was who?
Anna.
Anna.
That was Mama's mother that lived with them, see.
Yeah.
So those children the older children have a memory of her that I don't have.
Yeah.
I didn't have a grandparent.
Well,
But one day, I wish that you and Mark could come go through her trunk. Now, to our knowledge, this trunk may have come with her. We don't know, but it was rotten, and Gene fixed it. He fixed it, and he said they were antiquing then, and I said, no way.
Mm-mm.
I want it back just like it was.
Yeah.
Metal, black metal with wood.
Is that the trunk that was at the foot of Grandma's bed on Michelle? Yeah.
And the clock in there on the mantle, and I meant on the piano, and I meant to have it running for y'all. It runs like a charm.
Mm.
A clock man told Glenn that was purchased 92,
Hmm.
and it was from a mail order house, undoubtedly, and it cost about $12. So I was so glad, and I put that information inside the clock.
Yeah. Well.
Seems to me that my sisters are never were interested in such as that, and it may have been because they lived it.
Yeah.
But I'm interested. I've always been. Anything that Mama could tell me or that I could find out.
Yeah. Well, we want to know it all now.
And that's what it's all about, Charlotte. It aggravates me when I'll ask Esther, say, "Oh, I don't want to see it."
Mm.
That just goes all over me, because how else can those people live on?
Right.
They deserve to live on. So that's what I was about, and Liddy never had been in May's stuff. Since she moved her there 11 years ago. I get aggravated with her.
Yeah.
She didn't know that. She first said that she found Alvin's insurance policy, $5,000 that never had paid off. Got Laird to working on that, and then when I went to searching for pictures, she went to cleaning out May's stuff and found where it had paid in '88. So, she just got busy, and she don't know how to. She's like Savannah, she wouldn't send that direct. She'd take it and have somebody else do it. So Essie was glad to get to do it.
Yeah.
But Letty is too peculiar to fool with.
Yeah.
And if I had invited her here that night, she wouldn't have come.
Yeah, she's always been that way.
She's always been, and I just take her with a grain.
Yeah. But, well, I wanted to hear about Randy, and if you can send that tape, we would love, and Mark's supposed to be emailing Glenn Wayne for the whatever he's got on the family, because Michael wanted it too.
Tell me, have you talked with Michael?
I've talked to him one time. He's emailed me. I asked him this week at work if he had heard from any of the family, and he wrote back and said he sure had, and it was so sweet of y'all to write to him that he needed to get on the stick and get this pictures that he said he was going to send y'all.
I bet if I know a man, it'll be a...
Oh, he's real bad about...
Procrastination
is
their life.
Yeah.
Some women say that Randy's the worst they ever talked to. Every day he's going to do something.
Well...
He couldn't beat his daddy. But I wasn't looking for a lot of mail from him. I just wanted to tell him from my heart what I felt.
Yeah.
Because I knew he had a good time.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He couldn't hide it.
No, he really enjoyed it. Hated he couldn't stay longer. But, no, I don't. Even if I send him a package or something, I don't hear from him. I have to call him and ask him if he got it.
Well, that is normal.
Yeah.
You can be assured that is normal.
Yeah. But, yeah, he was going to send y'all a picture of him and Margaret and the picture of him that I've got here that when he was 5, he said that was his favorite picture when he was little. So he's intending to have copies of those made.
Oh, me.
But,
well, I think nothing of it, Charlotte. And if he ever gets ready to come, just call me and tell him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. I'm not one of these that wait for mail and this and that and the other.
Yeah.
You people lose a lifetime like that.
Right. These hummingbirds are it's a constant battle out here. I got up a hummingbird feeder, and I finally figured out that one of them stakes it, claims it,
Well, certainly.
and doesn't want anybody else
No,
to.
Charlotte, that's just as normal. We enjoy these hummingbirds, but one, and just like dive bombers.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And when they come, it's just a circling and a darting and a dashing and
And you
darting.
can't imagine one of them ever stopping to eat, but they do.
Well, when they can catch him gone.
Yeah. But he's the guard, and they all obey him. And you know they're not afraid of. They'll fly right by my head, and surprised they don't hit it. If I'm sitting out on the porch.
Yeah.
Afraid of people, not afraid of other birds. They're too swift.
Well, I wondered if I hung up another one, would he claim it too?
I've got three, but and they just look like they just zoom, 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 zoom all day long. But they're supposed to eat 2.5 times their weight in one day
Mm.
because they can't dip but about twice, you know.
I don't know how he gets anything because he's too busy.
He's too busy. And
He's
Randy told me something funny. That girlfriend of his in New Mexico would get a fly swat and try to catch him. It made her so mad. He wouldn't let the others get to it at all. I
boy.
think they sneak there when he's not there.
Oh yeah, they do.
He has to go. See, they love to stay in this magnolia tree.
Uh,
Well, they feed when they catch him gone.
yeah, but it hadn't got. It's gone down about 3 or 4 inches in a week, but that's not much.
Well, yeah, but then they'll hit it, and all of a sudden it'll be empty.
Well, somebody's getting a drink now, and here he comes.
Maybe him.
No, because it's not him.
No, they're getting. They'll buzz till they get rid of him. He has to stop and rest sometime.
Well, I had that little boy and girl on a swing hanging up out there, and he was perching on that and dive bombing them. And then I took them down, and now he's figured out he can sit on this railing out here. And there's my squirrel. I have a squirrel that comes and doves
You
and.
mean and sit on the banister?
No, he's right here on the. You mean the hummingbird?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the squirrel.
The squirrel. I keep food out up here for the water and food, and he's eating.
You know, I don't know if you saw it if we had it up when you were here, a squirrel feeder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gene just enjoys sitting there and watching. He just laughs.
Well, I put out corn, but he doesn't like the corn.
They'd rather have. Tell you what, he's got out some old pecans that wasn't any good, and
Yeah.
and boy, they disappear.
Well, I put out some peanuts, and the blue jays get those before the squirrel gets here. So I've got blue jays.
I tell you what, though, that's the best entertainment in the world.
Yeah, and cardinals and yeah. And yesterday when I went I have to sweep up the stuff they've eaten and the husk they leave, sunflower seeds and stuff, and I put out fresh piles for them and fresh water. And the squirrel was up here, and he didn't leave. He just sat there and watched me.
That's how familiar they get. You know, Kathy and Ed left me in charge of their feeding their squirrels and birds one year. They went off to Nashville, and I was scared of that squirrel. I'd get over there, and they'd have taken the top off of the bird feeders, those plastic buckets.
Yeah.
And they'd sit on a banister right where that sits and watch me fill up their stuff. And I said, you know, you could jump at me in a minute.
Yeah. So I didn't know if his.
I've seen people leave their patio door open and one come in and roam all over. And they had a camera, you know, they was making.
Yeah. Well, I'm enjoying them.
Oh, honey, that's the best relaxation. That's better than any nerve pill.
I want to get my camera and take a picture. This little hummingbird just sitting there and just looking every direction, right, left, up.
He's waiting on vegan.
And he's just watching his territory.
Yeah. Well, whatever God made them to be, they are. And there's no need in trying to kill one because you'd be messing up nature, you know.
Then somebody else would claim it, I guess, and do the same thing.
And I love doves.
Oh, I love them. They have the prettiest color on their breast. Kind of mauve colors. Some of them kind of have a rosy on their breast. But
You know, we think of doves as white, but these are not.
mm-mm.
And
These are
they're so beautiful and always in pairs, just like cardinals.
uh-huh.
And somebody told me that cardinals don't remate.
Hmm. Well, there was two females here yesterday with a male, and one of the females was kind of fussing with the littler one, and the littler one would just stand there and shake her whole body, looking at the bigger one.
Don't you mind that was her mama?
I don't know, but when the other two left and left that little one here, it stopped shaking and just ate normal. So that was
I expect the parents is trying to throw her out.
some sort of sign that I don't know what the shaking was
I
about.
don't either. They do.
Yeah,
They have their language just exactly like we have ours.
but I've enjoyed them, especially the cardinals. They're beautiful.
Oh, yeah, I thought when we first started fooling out here, see, I didn't have time on Michelle if I'd have had them. But when we first started out here and we didn't have anything, Kathy gave us a bird feeder. And we began to pass our time watching the cardinals, how they came, and the doves, and even mountain bluebirds, them little bitty bluebirds.
Oh, I have never seen one.
Ed said that he didn't know they'd come this far. And then there was a painted bunting that he spotted one day out here.
Mm.
Ed, and I trust him.
Yeah.
He can't tell colors. We'd never had seen anything like it before.
No.
And when he looked it up, and when I looked it up in my world book, it's exactly what we saw.
Mary's got some kind of yellow bird coming to her feeders, and I don't know what that is.
It's probably a species that we're not used to down
here. Yeah. So I don't know I have no idea.
But birds can become a fascinating hobby. And I'm glad I've got this old world book where I can look at pictures.
And these binoculars that you thought they was, you were.
I think about that and fall out laughing. Just as I got them in plain view, she hollered, "Billie!" And I threw them things down, and Charlotte, there was no way she could have seen me, and no way she could have known my name, but it just shocked me. Scared me. I said, I don't know, something wrong with these. I know you said, well, I didn't know his name.
But I do now.
You know now, yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to keep you so long, Bibbie, but I've been.
I'm so glad you called and reminded me that those people were up there for a wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had the 18th stuck in my mind.
I don't know.
I sent them a gift certificate to Sears.
Yeah.
You and Carolyn told me that's where they were registered.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to buy gifts for somebody. Like Lucy, I don't know her.
Well, I sent a gift certificate, too.
And good. You may have been the cause of me doing it. It was such a relief.
Yeah. It's easy. And, well, shoot, my mind, I was going to say something, but my mind just, when is Sophie's birthday? I don't have it.
31st day of December.
December 31st.
Yeah, and don't you forget it, because you remember we got these Carolyn's and her birthday wasn't in that calendar, and she said, just like I thought.
Well, I was looking and I took my birthdays out of that calendar, and I looked at it yesterday, not the calendar, because I don't even know where it is, but my list, and Sophie wasn't on there, and I thought,
it was an honest mistake. And the first calendar that I offered her, she returned to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the 31st day of December. Yes, I know I'm right. December. She and Mama's birthday were in December.
So I'm writing it down right now.
End of January.
So she's New Year's Eve, isn't it?
So,
yeah.
She sure is. If I find out I'm wrong, but I know I'm not wrong.
And they put Mark as Mark Morrison instead of Anderson.
I appreciate what Kathy does, but she does get some of them. I think she's got Allen's wrong in there, or had it. Not Allen. Chase's. For several years. I think she had him on the 3rd May.
Yeah.
The 4th. But anyway, I just take it and do with it what I can. But I remember how hurt Sophie was, even though she wasn't speaking to any of us, but her name was not in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just like I thought. I said, Sophie, that has to be a bad mistake.
And Mike's is the 19th. I don't know if I told you, of April.
That's what I wanted to know. I said, of all things, I did not get his birthday.
April 19th.
April 19th. What year?
66.
66. Okay, that would make him 33.
3.
April 19th. Well, see, that's near mine and Savannah's and Eva Carolyn's.
Uh-huh.
Right in there. Now, I thought, well, I never got the boy's birthday or anything. But I wasn't expecting any letters back or anything, any phone calls. But if y'all ever get ready to do that again, all you got to do